What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the AFC podcast inside the AFC studio. My special guest today is Smooth DoubleB, Brandon Bass. How's it going, man?
Man, it's been going great so far. Just kind of like interacting with different people and just kind of like hoping to awaken your minds with the people who are listening to this podcast today.
You mentioned you have a podcast yourself. What's yours about?
Yeah, so my podcast is called Chilling with Double B, and then over there we kind of just mostly talk about spirituality, kind of expanding your minds and just kind of like just becoming your greatest version through like spirituality or kind of like through like meditation and stuff like that.
We've spoken on this podcast once or twice about mindful meditation. You ever do anything like that?
Oh yeah, you can also like listen to like vibrational frequencies, like those different hertz like frequencies, and then kind of just like be in that relaxful state too.
Have you ever experimented or experienced like just being around a beehive?
No, actually, I have.
So it turns out they produce a very high frequency of vibration that triggers some sort of frequency that our bodies actually used to sort of like, if I remember correctly, because I see everything on TikTok, all these little things. Basically, it removes like some sort of inflammation in the body, not so much your joints, but it puts you in this status of relaxation. And I think there was an actual like published theory on how people who surround themselves with bee increase their lifespan by like 17%.
Oh wow, it kind of like there's definitely like a connection between like bees as being like spirit animals for like people, so I can definitely see that happening.
I was always curious about them because like biblically they're a strong reference on survival, not just from the honey. And sure, as we know, like what they actually do for the planet, on how they just keep the ecosystem alive through cross-pollination, all these like sustainability of wildlife, all these little details on how essential they are.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a lot of people are like scared of these like little creatures and just scared of like animals in general, but like they don't really see like the bigger picture between why they're here and why they're operating for like the planet since like today's Earth Day as well too. So,
Oh, they got a strong bite. You ever get stung?
oh no, good thing I haven't because
You don't want to. It sucks. So Smooth DoubleB, like where do you hail from? Where do you call home?
I'm currently in Massachusetts right now.
New England boy.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Like it's getting warmer and everything like that, but like in the winters, it's just like I'd rather just be somewhere else, I'll be honest.
Do you have like any family or friends like maybe in Florida or Texas, Louisiana, anything like that?
My sister actually moved to Texas like a couple years ago, so like she's been enjoying it, and then I know I have some family members in like Georgia too.
Gotcha. So what do you do? Like more or less, do you consider yourself more of a performing artist or a writer?
I mostly just like do artists, like kind of like writing and recording and just kind of like mixing and mastering my like own music and just finding different ways where I can just like help people through like either music or through videos or content creation and stuff.
Oh, what have you done recently? Anything to be proud of?
I know last year I self-published my first book, but right now I'm just going through I'm
That's
just going yeah, thanks man. I know this year I just mostly focus on like I'm doing like this afterlife series of like albums, like musical albums, where it can like all combine together at the end of the cycle afterwards, but it's been pretty cool.
Oh, so you're publishing like a musicable or some kind where it's one giant like symphony of storytelling, act one, act two, act three.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of like I know in the beginning I called it Afterlife Saga, but then it's kind of like a whole like series throughout um these past months.
Well, how does that work? Like you do like 5 minutes at a time, or is it like an album each?
So for this one, I kind of did like EPs or like kind of albums that would come up into like one album altogether. So like I know in the beginning I did like an EP. Since 2022, I mostly just was focusing on like the book and everything, so I didn't really put out any music or anything like that. So this year I was kind of trying to get back to it. So I know originally I didn't want to make like a series for like my book. So I kind of had this idea of making a series out of something. So I kind of like toned into music and just had specific albums for specific storytelling that will all lead to the last one. So I can
Well,
go
how
through.
well, how would you describe like your music? Does it have a certain genre, or do you work with certain instruments, or do you really mess around like maybe with the hertz and the vibrations of the music to create sort of like an experience?
Oh yeah, so I mostly do like hip hop, pop, and kind of like rap and R&B. But for this one, I kind of like tapped into like different genres. Like I did like a little bit of country, a little bit of rock, and just kind of like, and also I have like chakra activation, which is kind of like using my sound bowls and like sound bowl meditations and tuning forks, so that can like elevate the experience for like the listener.
Yo, so if anybody wanted to like hear some of your music, do you have a demo out on the social media?
Oh yeah, they can just search up Smooth Double B, and then I'm like on all the platforms.
Oh, like SoundCloud and things like that.
Yeah, I'm on all.
So what's your ultimate goal with the music? What do you want? Is it something you want to be known for? Or is it just sort of like a creative thing?
I know in the beginning I kind of looked at it as like a creative thing, because I know when I first started, I kind of saw it as like an extra monetary gain, just to kind of like use my talents and skills to like make extra money and stuff like that. But then after a while, I kind of took it more seriously, and then I've realized this was like one of my missions and purposes to kind of like heal people through my music. So I know eventually I want to get to the point where I'm kind of like selling out like stadiums and like performing for people and stuff.
Wow. Yo, that's some serious faith you got there, man.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of see it now, but
Well, if
it's all like a journey though.
it's got to be, dude. Yeah, it is a journey. Build that fan base, get them involved. And do you ever notice a difference between listening to music with a certain, like maybe AirPod or a full headgear, and then you take that dynamic of actually seeing a performance live and being around that energy?
Oh yeah, like I know during like the mixing and mastering process of like doing the music, I know you can kind of like hear different styles within the music. So if you have like a different effect or a different like layer that you added during the mix, you can really hear it with good quality headphones, but then like you may not hear it with like kind of like cheap head like earbuds or anything like that. But then once you're in live in the performance, they have like all the real equipment where you can really like hear everything come together. So,
What made you want to get involved in the music? Like, were you always musically inclined?
um, not I know my dad was used to be like a drummer for this like gospel band and everything like that, and then my brother, stepbrother actually was a DJ for this radio station. So I was kind of always exposed to like some music, but I never like saw myself like actually doing it. But I just thought it was a cool way just to expand and just try something different.
It does sound really different. Like, does it have maybe do you consider it more of like its own type of experimental music? Like, could you give it like a title or a genre or some sort of range on what it covers?
I would say for a specific genre, I would say R&B, since it's kind of like for my music, I know I'm kind of different than from all these other artists since I try to like connect deeply with my audience with um kind of just like my own personal experiences and just connecting them spiritually. So just having them kind of speak on different topics that they may not be speaking out of, or just like stuff that they are holding back in their shadow, or like having to do inner work for. So I kind of speak on those type of topics where they can kind of like heal throughout the process.
Oh, what made you want to get more involved, like with the purpose of healing? You know, a lot of people do this for entertainment or vanity even, but why healing as sort of like a motive?
I know for me, I'm kind of like a light vocal and just like an empath. So I kind of my mission and like one of my missions and purposes is just to heal people with like either my energy or presence as well. So finding different ways to creatively that I can achieve those missions and purposes is a good strategy for me personally.
How old are you now?
I'm currently 23 right now.
Oh, you're just like, you are ready to go, man. All
Oh,
right.
it's
How long you been doing this for?
I started in 2020, and then I had my first spiritual awakening back in 2019, and then that kind of like opened up my eyes to like the matrix and everything that's going on and everything. So then fast forward to 2020, that's when I kind of was like, let me try to find different ways to use my like spirituality to help people. So that's when I kind of started making YouTube videos, and then I kind of started doing like clothing and just different spiritual advisory and stuff like that. So
How if anybody wants to find you on YouTube, where could they go?
they can either just type in smooth double B or Brandon Bass 99.
Brandon Bass 99 or Smooth Double B. Do you have like names of your songs or albums?
Oh yeah, I have one that's called like New Earth. I have the Afterlife series. I have um Final Countdown, just the Final Ascension, but just like different stuff.
Well, you mentioned in 2019 you had some sort of spiritual awakening. What was that like?
Yeah, so throughout the process, I always knew I was kind of different than everyone else. Like looking back at my early years, I could really tell that I came up kind of like being different, but of course they use that as like a, oh, you're not supposed to feel that way, or oh no, you're not different, you're just like everyone else and everything. So ever since 2019, I remember watching one YouTuber who had their spiritual awakening as well. So that kind of finally motivated me to actually like step into knowing more information about just what's been going on in this world and what's really true and what's false. So ever since then, I kind of just into different like rabbit holes and just try to find different information that can teach me where I came from and teach me who I am, because the most important part is just knowing thyself.
Yeah, 100% true. Did that tie into why you wanted to write your book?
Oh yeah, for my book, I kind of had like these different downloads and from like the universe or like spirit guides and everything like that, that I should express myself through writing, because I know throughout my journey, I'm kind of like good at like just writing stuff down or just like giving information out. So from there on, I kind of had this idea of what the book should be about ever since I started my website, which was back in 2020. But I kind of just, with manifestations, since it's like a physical delay, since it's like the time is illusion and everything like that, it just like, even though I was manifesting it back in 2020, it didn't like come into fruition until 2022. So I had this idea of writing the book and basically finding different ways to speak out on it.
So, what's your book about? Could you give us like the elevator pitch?
Oh yeah, so it's about a group of people who are kind of going through this virtual reality escape room. So basically they talk about I basically in the beginning I talk about each character and how they are currently, and then over time they come to this show was kind of like an escape room show, but let alone it's kind of like a virtual escape room. So they kind of go through each element, and like one element might be like a zombie apocalypse, one element might be um like just going through different escape rooms, and it also talks about their like childhood traumas and overcoming their obstacles and just inner work and everything like that.
Do you have a name for it?
Oh yeah, it's called How to Overcome Apocalyptic Events.
Yo, let's go.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations,
thanks,
man.
man.
So it all started with a group of friends, basically, and they're in a virtual reality escape room, and they got to try to stick together and get out together.
So the unique thing about this was all of them were kind of like strangers except for two characters which were kind of like in a relationship, but they all kind of like came to this one location because somehow they found out that they were casting for a new show like Escape Room. So mostly all of them were kind of excited to just be on TV or just kind of like go through the escape rooms. So then afterwards, they all had to like come together as like a mutual friends. But of course, there was like jealousy and envy and everything since they were strangers. So they just have to go through the process of just kind of going through the each escape room, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yo, that's where did you come up with that idea?
Oh, it was kind of like just like popped up in my head. Like I remember in the beginning I kind of wanted to make like a book about zombie apocalypse, but then over time I kind of realized there was more with the title How to Overcome Apocalyptic Events. It could be more than just zombies. So I also included like the wild, like AI and robot apocalypse, because like
Uh,
natural disasters and
so you got
different,
Judgment Day, you got little bits and pieces maybe of The Last of Us and just how to survive from each other.
yeah, like how to survive all those like apocalyptic events, like if like the government kind of like starts like an economical collapse, like how to overcome all of those different things and stuff.
Wow. So basically it's a guide. It's a guidance book as well. Fantasy, sci-fi, but um how could somebody want to like maybe get their hands on the book and just like read it for themselves?
Oh yeah, it's available on all the book stores out there. They can just type in how to overcome apocalyptic events or just type in Brandon Lamar Bass.
Oh, so like you okay. So like on Amazon, maybe is there like an online border store still going on or even on Walmart.com?
Yeah, it's on Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Apple, and I have like the audiobook, ebook,
There you
paperback,
go.
and hardcover too.
Yeah, because I'm an audio book freak. I listen to audible books every day, every
Oh
single day. If I'm not reading a script or writing a script, I have to like be listening to like the book of the week or something like that. So
yeah,
I'm gonna actually after this podcast, I definitely want to look it up. Could I find it on Audible?
yes, it's on Audible too.
Let's go, man. What was it like? Was that a challenge for you to get your book published and released on Audible?
It was definitely like a journey, I would say, since I was doing like self-publishing, so I didn't go through like a publisher. So I had to like really take out the time to like research and find different platforms to actually upload and kind of distribute my book by itself. And it really took like some time, like just like writing, editing, and just finding like narrators and doing the copyrights and doing the kind of like the formats and everything. Uh,
It just got released this past September.
Oh yes.
Yo, all right, congratulations. I'm looking at it right now. So far, uh I could get it. I got a subscription, so I could exchange it for a credit.
Oh nice.
How to Overcome Apocalyptic Events by Brandon Lamar. Uh, let's see, Brandon Lamar Bass, narrated by Andrew Baldwin and Angela Clark. The audio book itself is 9 hours and 23 minutes. You got yourself a story, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know I wanted to make like the book kind of like long, but I didn't want to do like a short story, but
That's a fair amount of time for like that's a good book, personally. That's what I look for. I look for substance and richness and distance and duration.
yeah.
All right, I don't know how many audibles you got, uh but it's now officially in my library. I'm gonna give this a listen to.
Oh, thanks, man. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
I'm glad you told me about it. I love new stories. Did you ever want to use it maybe for like a short series or like a new HBO original?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to kind of like transfer it into like a TV show and then like a cartoon or like a movie as well. That'd be cool.
Try to knock out those visuals.
Yeah, definitely.
I was curious though, because you had mentioned to me earlier that your favorite movie of all time is The Matrix.
Oh yes, that's one of my like favorite ones.
All time favorite is it number one, or not as favorite as in your number one, but did you like Matrix the first as opposed to Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrection now?
Oh yeah, I would say the first one was by far like the best one, but the recent one was pretty cool. They had like spread it out like different like messages and everything like that. But I feel like the other ones were more of like the action and kind of like combat, like John Wick. So it was pretty cool, I guess.
What'd you like about the Matrix? Just like it seems like you had a spiritual awakening where you got tapped into the Matrix itself. Like, did you kind of feel like the way the world is, something's off, and you just don't know how to put your finger on it?
I know when I first was kind of like awakening, it was I didn't really actually know about the Matrix movie since when that came out, that I was actually just born in that year or two. So I didn't really figure it out, but I kind of was just like researching like spiritual movies just to watch, just to like see like the hidden messages that they put into the messages and everything like that. So um one that popped up was the Matrix, and I remember hearing a lot of people talk about it, like how, oh, it's kind of more of like a documentary instead of like a movie. So I just checked it out and I kind of saw like the semblance of like everything that's going on behind closed doors.
Did that lend to the type of creativity you want to do as like as an original artist, whether it's through music, through books, through television?
I find like different ways. I kind of see like movies and TV shows as kind of like ways of like storytelling. So like for example, I know sometimes I watch like wrestling, so I mostly watch it to learn like different like move sets, but just like mostly about the storytelling and just like how to like capture the audience and kind of like really dive deep into the story. So I kind of find different ways where I can just engage my audience with different stories.
Right on, man. Is this something you always wanted to do, or did like maybe your family's recommend or suggest like a plan B?
I know in the beginning I didn't really tell my family because, and like other people because they can like downplay it or like, oh, you'll never be like that popular or it will never go anywhere and everything like that. So I in the beginning I really just kept it to myself and mostly I just do what I need to do internally and then once I finish it, I just put it out into the universe. But yeah, I know where I want to head down and where I'm heading. And I kind of don't really want like any like self-doubt or like other people influencing me that it won't come true because um I just know internally that it'll like manifest eventually.
So what's your motive? Like, is it more of like a validation that you knew that you could create, or uh, did you have I guess a drive to you did say that you wanted to help with healing people, and I definitely think that's what motivates you. But to continue, did you ever experience somebody suffering to the point where you just can't help them?
I know I try to give advice to people who are going through like tough times and everything. But I know internally it's like a self choice. So like they can either keep choosing to like suffer or kind of like change like their mindset to become like greater or just like looking at the best out of those situations. So trying to like give them like huddle, like subtle like reminders but also just being there for them because I know like when you're going through like tough times or kind of going through like a spiritual awakening by yourself, you feel like you're just alone and no one can relate to you or connect with you. So I just try to be like that support system for people.
So what's your primary tactic for you to get through, I guess, when you're feeling down and low? What's the number one thing that you do to get out of it?
I mostly try to either like sun gaze or kind of like go out in nature or just like have a conversation within myself through meditation. I would say those have been like really helpful for me personally.
And these tactics work under any circumstance, whether it's like from an internal conflict or an outside influence.
For internal conflicts, I would say you would have to kind of like get to like the problem. So like kind of like see where that pain is coming from because mostly it's coming from like childhood trauma or like past life remembrance. So just trying to get to why you feel that way in that situation, what kind of triggered you and kind of like how can you overcome or kind of see like the bigger picture within that situation. And then for external conflicts, I would say um, it really depends on if you have influence or really care about what others think about you. So, you know, you are similar to the five people around you are like you're the most similar to the five people around you that you hang out with. So
Yeah.
just looking at like your circle and seeing that if they are uplifting you or kind of like bringing you down behind closed doors because I know a lot of people could just hide behind a mask or just won't tell you or jealous of you like behind but smile in your face too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that, and I'm sure everybody listening has experienced that at some point, you know?
Yeah, it's like a lot of people just or they're kind of like jealous of your light or your like perseverance, but or just want to be like you too.
And they just like maybe articulate it in a hostile way where they just can't really say, I wish I was more like you. So I'm angry and aggressive because I don't know how to articulate.
Yes, it's funny because like a lot of people won't like like they won't tell you that that you inspire them, but they'll they'll like internally would say it to themselves, but then they will spread hate. But your haters are like your most best followers, I guess.
Yeah, like I remember Cat Williams not too long ago was it was probably from the 90s and I wouldn't even know it, but I saw another TikTok video and Cat Williams popped up and he was really shining a light on haters. Like um it's a curious thing because like a hater is going to hate, but sometimes that's your relationship with that individual. They probably don't hate on other people, and it just somehow that's either A, who they are, or B, that's just what they're going through. But that is their position in life currently. That is their job. Their job is to hate, and that's it. That's all they're meant to do. But he did shine a light on how to actually use it to your advantage, because if they are actually hating on you, that you know happens to be true, then you're probably doing something right, whatever it is your destiny and purpose or mission is. And they just articulate it in a hostile way because they don't know any other way to do it.
Yeah, it's like if you don't receive hate, then you're not really good at what you're doing. So like look at all these like Drake and like kind of like all these like celebrities who constantly get like hate on every day, but it just makes sense, I guess.
So when it comes to your hate, or not your hate, like I'm sure you don't hate on anybody really. So it's more like, do you just ignore it, or is there like a tactic you do to kind of leverage it and put into your craft?
I know in the beginning I kind of like was affected by it and kind of like really took it like personally, but now like kind of realizing like the internet is fake and most of like the internet bots are just like robots, kind of just like or fake pages just like spreading negativity because the outer world is all like mostly negative, but the inner world is like most important. So I don't really like focus on it anymore, and I just like kind of like try to laugh it off.
I wonder if like now, if these are actual people, especially through the internet, or is it maybe like an AI program, just like simulating a conversation? Like I had such an amazing rundown this past week through the Chamber of Commerce and cybersecurity, and the level of AI intelligence that's available out there. Like it's one thing to just create a graphic design, which is really cool. The way I've seen it thus far, a lot of people experimented with it, but how like intelligent they actually are becoming, where they could actually blend in somehow and sort of like catfish you in a sense, or pretty much create a fake profile about you, and nobody else would know that it wasn't you or I. It was actually the AI impersonating us the whole time.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like just like with like the catfishing and just like with the chat GHP and all the other like AI and just like now they have like where you can like record your audio through AI and everything like so and everything like that. So it kind of seems like a lot of people are getting too attached to Roblox, and then like eventually that's how their plan works. It's just like slowly trying to like get you comfortable using it. So then when it comes out fully, then you just like be accepted to it.
It's amazing. Like somebody, and actually we spoke about this once in the AFC, like how you could just give instructions and create a certain essay or write a full script in certain like a certain for a certain genre, and they would come up with multiple characters. They would have a beginning, middle, and end. And I don't know if there's an experiment right now necessarily of that script being published where it was written by AI, just and whatnot, and just kind of seeing the execution of what a movie in the right hands based on a script of an AI would actually show. But I'm curious, like from your experience on like the world of the Matrix, the AI, do you think what do you think the purpose of storytelling is if it's not necessarily coming from a human being?
I would say with AI, it kind of seems like they're kind of like more kind of like Hollywood style. So like for like Hollywood, they kind of find like make different like movies or shows based on like books and everything. So they kind of get like a synopsis of like the baseline with like the book, but then they create it in their own vision or their own light. So I kind of feel like that's kind of how like AI is kind of doing it, but just with made up people, made up situations.
Isn't that everything that we do? We kind of make it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think you want to do moving forward? Like, did you ever want to like write a second book or double down on like the journey of these characters and have a continuance or like a trilogy of some kind?
I know for I have thoughts of like different ideas that I want to put out for my next book, but also kind of like connected to like the ending of my first book, since the ending is kind of like it's like kind of like a cliffhanger. So I kind of want to like tell the rest of it in the beginning, but create my own like another story within that second book.
What was it like publishing your first book? Did you have to overcome like a challenge that's felt impossible?
It was definitely like a lot of research and a lot of like time just to watch like different self-published authors and their journey, or just like watching tutorials so I can make sure everything runs smoothly and gets distributed correctly through different like publisher, different like distributors like Amazon, KDP, and like um and all those other platforms. So it was definitely like a lot of watching videos and stuff.
So as far as in the last 6 months, what was the biggest lesson you've learned after publishing the book? Like you completed the task, but I'm sure it's not over yet.
Yeah, I definitely learned patience, and throughout the book I even said like I feel like a lot of my triggers. So kind of like just being patient and kind of um just not trying to rush it, I would say.
Are there
Because
any are there any, are there any trailers or anything like that maybe we could share for you?
Oh yeah, I posted like I did like a small little trailer on my like YouTube channel, but
Oh, all right. Shout. All right. So to the AFC team, guys, we gotta, tag it and then share it and all that good stuff. Get some eyes on it.
oh thanks, man. I appreciate
Um, well, that's the name of the game. That's what we do, dude. And sometimes I'll say it in here to remind them, just in case I forget to actually text them.
you. Oh yeah.
All right, fix it in post. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So, what's your next step? Like, are you kind of like in like a time of reflection where you don't have to overwhelm yourself with working to I got to achieve it, I got to achieve it, I got to achieve it.
I know kind of like in the beginning, I remember I just felt like I had to do like these creative outlets, but now since I've put out like multiple projects and everything like that, it's just kind of like doing it just to do it in a way. But I know currently right now I'm just trying to finish off like that Afterlife saga going out, and then eventually after that I'll be starting my like next phase of my book and stuff.
But where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I definitely want to I definitely want to be at a position where I can do my businesses full time instead of doing it part time and just like having like these other jobs on the side and everything like that. And I know eventually I want to have my own like building or kind of like my own food truck, and just um kind of like do my businesses through there.
I want to ask you more about that. So, you said you want your own building. Are we talking about not? Are we talking about the New York Times building type of building?
I know I kind of wanted like a building where I can like do like all my services. So like one side is kind of like, but then I kind of want to like have like a restaurant, but then also like provide like different services like healing or like therapy or kind of like doing like consultations, but then also have like clothing on the side and just different things that combine into one building.
So you want a smooth DoubleB Walmart?
Yeah. I might call it BLB Productions. That's like one of my other things.
So it's also like a production house, but is it open to the public where I'll come into the restaurant, just eat the food, have a tour or something like that?
Yeah, I kind of want to like have it all like in one building and then kind of like expand on that so I can have that building be represented in like different states or like outside the country too and stuff.
You
That
want
would
to
be cool.
franchise this?
Yeah, eventually I want
Yo,
to.
yo, you got some drive, kid. I can't, I'm so happy to hear that. Um, so what are we talking about? Like the food, is it more of like natural food where it actually produces like healing to your body, or is it just like experience, not like the menu, but like an entire like theatrical element to it as well?
Yeah, so for the West one, I kind of want to have like my own like garden, but like, and then like food from the garden. I kind of want to like make that name like food from the garden, but then I kind of want to have like a rooftop bar or just like have like a party events like on one level and then the other level is like a restaurant, then the top level is like a rooftop bar and I'm just finding different ways. But
That actually sounds like a lot of fun, but did you want to, what state did you want to do it in, or like where were you thinking of doing it?
I know one state I was thinking about like is Florida to start because it's kind of like hot down there and like a lot of people come out for spring and summer break and everything. So that would kind of like bring more people together. But I'll probably start either there or like Texas or one of the big states.
Do you feel like I don't even know how to ask the question. Like I'm really blown away. It seems like it's its own, like not to throw Disney under the bus, because I got a lot of mixed feelings and love, and I wish it were better type of respect for Disney World and places like that. Like for me, my imagination's engaged. Like my youth comes back. I feel a sense of joy. I find a lot of fun in doing it. Not so much like stand online to go on a ride. Uh, I never had a bad experience other than the food at Disney World.
Yeah, I know
Um,
Universal Studios is pretty fun too.
I love Universal Studios. Their closing show, like that actually got me teary, on being on this side of the business where it's just like it all started with imagination, and it's now a compilation, I'll say, of all of these different creators into a theme park where you got the Harry Potter places over there, you got the Back to the Future, you got Feifel Goes West, all of these little things that just cover like an entire generation of time and different genres and creativity all in one place. It's like you're inside your own human brain and it's actually here right in front of you.
Yeah, it's definitely like a kind of nuance, kind of just like a remembrance of everything. So it's pretty cool.
Did you ever want to do that? Like you got yourself a building, but like would you want to do a theme park as well?
Um, I never really thought about it, but I mean it would be cool.
I know we had a theme park built in upstate New York called Legoland. You ever experience a Legoland?
I remember when I went to New York, I remember I went to Legoland and I went to like the M&M stores and different stuff like that.
Oh, all right. How'd you like it though? Like, if there was one thing about the theme park Legoland, if they could do better, would it be maybe have smooth DoubleB distributions there?
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
I recommend everybody go to a theme park and just give them feedback on how to make it better. And honestly, do not go there hungry. It's not worth it.
Yeah, their food is just like you get better food if you just like go somewhere else at that point.
I mean, that's the one thing I don't really I can't respect, like you put billions, into projects. like billions of dollars, and you want to have everybody like come and have a great time. But it really bothers me. And we did have a guest come on here and actually give us words of wisdom. Who are you doing this for? Have you ever felt like maybe after somebody experienced a time with you, the last thing you would ever want to do is just leave them with a bad taste in their mouth?
Yeah, that's the last thing I want to do, because the last parts of like the experience is like the most memorable, so you kind of want to leave that impression too.
That I couldn't agree more. You know, I think money doesn't exist. It's a tool, but a lot of people just they shortchange the experience and the joy of actually who are you doing this for? Like, do you really want like there's such a common term in theme parks where you want to protect the magic. If it tastes terrible, you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry. Like it could be a lot of fun, but there was an outstanding, oh, I gotta look it up. Um before like you probably don't know this little fun fact yet, but the Astoria Filmmakers Club started the Triborough Film Festival this past January. Um and I took charge of that. And one place that we found was actually called the Firehouse. And that is downtown, I believe, old engine either 41 or engine 8. It escapes me, but now they completely refurbished like a very late 1800s New York City firehouse and turned it into an entire film school and movie house.
Oh,
And yeah, it's incredible. It's called DCTV. And they had one very unique and special documentarian come in who created a film about, I believe it was her grandfather, who was actually Walt Disney himself. And I believe it was called American Dreams. And that's actually a story on basically how basically they just they prostituted the entire vision of maybe whatever Walt Disney truly had to leave a legacy, and what they're doing to their employees, and how literally it's not, there's no magic involved. It's like, it's almost unfortunate. I hate to say the word, but it's honestly, it's more of a fraud. It's a complete and total con. It's a dependence on like the idea of getting the experience and actually truly enjoying it, and contributing to like human addiction in a way where we're just completely oblivious to it all. And we just want to be a part of something where 50,000 people every day also do it. So why not be a part of it, but not express a true opinion about it? So the documentary I thought was wonderful. And I recommend it, American Dreams. I'll probably tag it in this podcast. You can find it on Amazon Prime. And I don't know why I just totally like, jumped ahead and just left you out of the conversation. Sorry, dude.
oh no, man, you're good, man. That was great.
But I'm curious. So like, as far as like, filmmaking, have you ever done a movie before, acted in anything?
Oh, I know I do kind of like modeling and acting on the side too. So I kind of been in like different like commercials or kind of like print modeling and everything. So I kind of see like the vision of how people kind of like write scripts and kind of just have like the art actor or actress kind of like speak a story through their creation. So it's pretty fun.
That's awesome. So you've always been more of like on well, has that ever inspired you to like maybe do your own show perhaps, or you might have mentioned it earlier, and do you want to write maybe an adaptation from your book over onto the screen?
Yeah, I would love to make like a first I would say like a cartoon for like my first book. I would see myself making like a cartoon show, like a kind of like a kid show, and then like a real like in real life like movie with like real people with that book. But for like my next one, I kind of see that being like a TV series like of like real people. But yeah.
I'm curious. So like why do you want to do that though? Because very few people really have an accomplishment such as yours, truly, like a published book. It's available on Audible. And what is your drive? Like, why do you want to keep doing it?
I know for like the books per se, I kind of know like a lot of people really speak value of like seeing a visual come to life with like the specific art. So like for like music, that's why like a lot of people do like music videos or kind of like story tell through music videos. So I kind of see myself doing like um kind of like visuals for like the books so it can like kind of like show people like how the process goes and just like not only just how it plays out throughout the book but how it comes to life as well.
Are there any like creatives, like directors, filmmakers that you've used sort of like as a navigation point to aspire to, and maybe their technique is something you want to actually incorporate into your own work? Like, who's inspired you to do it? Go down that road.
I know some directors that I kind of look at as like being kind of like really creative is like Jordan Peele or kind of like the person who directs the Avatar movies.
Mhm.
So like just kind of like having like that really like experience or like really dive deep and like spreading like hidden messages within the movie, but kind of like tell like a bigger story.
Gotcha. And that's what you want to do. You want to try to have like these little hidden gems, Easter eggs, and unless people actually read multiple books, they can't really see like the bigger picture.
Yeah, and then I kind of want to like you know like those screen rants on like YouTube and stuff like that, like conspiring like conspiracy theories or kind of like having their own like revelation of what they think may be going on, but like they don't really know what's really going on. So just like building more like conversation around it, I would say.
Yo, this is exciting, dude. And I definitely can't wait to actually take a listen to your book. How did you find the actors to perform?
Oh yeah, for like the narrators and everything.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, so I used Fiverr. I know I put some of my services on Fiverr, so I know they're like reliable. So I kind of just searched up for like I use Fiverr to find like my book cover person and to format and the narrators too. So this is a good source.
that's no, I love using Fiverr. Actually, this graphic in particular was designed through Fiverr.
Oh wow, that's dope.
No, no, like it's a very great, it's a fantastic tool for business, man. And just it all goes right through that app. You never know who you're going to actually like, you know exactly who you're going to hire, but their creativity on their resume, it's such a valuable resource for almost everything, I'd say,
Yeah, there are definitely like a lot of creative people on there too.
from all over the planet, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I gotta say, Brandon, like you're an outstanding individual. You're an awesome kid, and I can't wait to listen to this book. Like it's the first of its kind. I never would have thought of an escape room virtual reality. I never would. I've never experienced anything like that. You know, I've never done an escape room. It always looked kind of cool. But VR, where you're in the safety perhaps of your own home somewhere, and then you're submerged into the digital reality in that matrix, that metaverse.
Yeah, there's like parts of like the story will like you can't like it's like a blend between virtual reality and the what's happening in real life, but I won't tell you too much. I'll just let you see how it plays out though.
All right. If yeah, we'll play the trailer for you too, and I can't wait to check that out.
Oh yeah,
Well,
thank
this is exciting, man. I can, like honestly, uh I definitely want to know more about your podcast. Please share all that information with us. And one thing we do normally before we just kind of start wrapping things up, we always want to end it on a note where it kind of keeps everybody's hopes alive. And we end the show usually with a little something known as the right words at the right time. It all started from this book called The Right Words at the Right Time, written by Marcy Hopkins Thompson at the time. And it was just a collective of essays of celebrities, politicians, and athletes where basically they were all given the right words at the right time that just carried them through for better or worse, thick and thin, to just keep their hope alive. So, Brendan, my curiosity was, has anybody ever given you the right words at the right time that have stuck with you all the way up until this point? Or if you had any words of your own that you would like to share?
Uh, I would say for like people, I would definitely say just to know who you are, know where you came from, and kind of like continue stepping into your authentic self because you're the holder of your own pen. You write your own story, so you shouldn't have like other people write your own story for you. So if you know who you truly are, then you won't allow like other people to influence you or get you off like on the wrong track and everything. So I would say just really just know who you are and just continue being yourself.
I like what you said about being the holder of your own pen.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's something I really like, and it's true. You do. You're the one who's writing your own story.
Yeah, a lot of people just like have like different like influence of like on what they should be or how they should act in a certain way or kind of like not trying to fulfill your own desires, but it's like your life because like you don't want to like come back and like redo it because you didn't want to do because like if you don't want to didn't accomplish something or didn't really want to do what you really wanted to do, then you'll just like come back and just try it again.
Well, Smooth Double B, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I'm really excited to actually share this with the entire audience. For everybody out there who tuned in, thank you so much. Don't forget, you are the holder of your own pen. You write your own story. And Double B, like, can people find you on Instagram or anything like that?
Oh yes, it's either will_BBASS or they can just type in smooth double B and then I'm on all platforms with under smooth double B, so you can just find it too.
Uh, before we end the show, but why'd you choose the name Smooth Double B?
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny because I remember when I was younger, a lot of people either called me Double B because of Brandon Bass or kind of like young Double B and everything. But then I was looking at before I started my like music career, I had to like look up any artists who may have like similar names so I won't have to like copy them or kind of like when people search me up, they can find me instead of like someone else. So I realized someone else used double B, so I kind of had to like switch it up. But I know with smooth double B, it was kind of like unique because I'm just like kind of like smooth with it. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
buddy.
funny. Yeah.
Well, Smooth Double B, thank you so much for coming on the AFC podcast. For those of you just joining us, click rewind, start from the very beginning. You could like and subscribe for all future episodes at the Astoria Filmmakers Club page and click on the AFC podcast. You can't miss it. Even Google us. It's on our website as well and Instagram, the Astoria Filmmakers Club. And of course, Smooth Double B. I always send a message out to everybody else before they go about their day to always remember to never forget your community, the creativity, and always find the joy in everything you do and carry that with you everywhere you go.
Oh yeah, that's a great message to leaving them off with that.
It's my pleasure, man. I can't wait to have you back on the show, and I cannot wait to talk about your book. I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do this again.
Until next time, Smooth Double B. We'll see you next time.
Oh yeah, see you.
Thanks, everybody. Ciao for now.